Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Addo. No, that is not an echo. That is Brian and I. The fast main track. We got the all-weather Tapeta. And Brian, big news. $500,000 in the Rainbow Six.
We've been building, and on a big 11-race card here today with a couple stakes, $500,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, kicking off in race 6. And I know you'll have a ticket in a little bit. We've talked about this, Ronnie, for a couple weeks now, and I think now it's front and center. Big balloons out there to be grabbed. And I'm going to tell you what, I would bet a beverage of choice that when we get to the end today, there might be a single or two. It is a tough sequence.
Yeah, it's really good. And that's races 6 through 11 this afternoon. Kicks off right mid-afternoon here. And with that said, that takes care of all the early business. So the first race today on Saturday is going to be about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And he's a maiden claiming 2-year-olds, $25,000. And I found this race wide open. I don't know how you handled your ticket.
Yeah, I did too. I think I'm 5 deep. I believe they're all first-time starters. The afternoon runners haven't really proven to be much. 5 first-time starters, and then if you got some change in the seat cushion, you might like this sequence because it's a $5 play for me. 3 singles, Star Wancho in race 2, 2 deep, 6-9, final episode on top in race 3, and then Desert Ruler is my best bet of the day in race 4, and in race 5, the 8, Pearlescent for Liz Doble's Imaginary Stable, Lionel Reyes. That is a potent trio. $5, Ronnie, a lot different than my late pick 5 and probably your Rainbow 6. I think we can have a good feel for this early part of the card. Then I could think it could blow way up later.
Well, $5, you can get it twice here in the early pick 5. It's not that expensive, $5.
Louis might play this.
Huh?
Louis might play this.
The thing is that I felt the same way with the first race today, so I just played a little bit of the percentages in here with the 4, and I went with I'm the Best in the World, who's the son of Exaggerated, debuting from Mike Yates. Series of useful workouts showing, so I found a stat, Mike, with his 2-year-olds. I actually thought this would be a bigger sampling. First-time starters, maiden claimers on the dirt, 3 for 18, 17%, 44% in the money. 229 is the return of investment. So maybe he does better with the maiden special weights, but maiden claimers, still a positive ROI. So I went there with the number 4 horse. I can always trust Mike Yates to have his 2-year-olds to run well, and ridden by Ismario Villalobos today.
I think what you said was perfect. I mean, you know Mike is going to have them ready, and the intent is to fire a big shot today. Not a lot of pedigree here. This is not a race you're going to find a lot of pedigree. $25,000 maiden claimers. Dan was 2 for 12, took her 3 starts to break her maiden. Second fall, the other one was on race, so not a lot to go on here. But Ronnie said it perfectly. When when you land on Mike Yates, you know you're going to get a positive effort at first asking.
And the current favorite right now, and the morning line favorite, is the 7, Smart and Sharp, a gelded son of Sharp Azteca, half-brother to a local runner called R. Admiral. I think was disqualified the other day, if I remember correctly. Debuted for Ronnie Spatz. What I like, a couple of solid half-mile works on the Tapeta.
Yeah, Ronnie's another guy, 17% overall on debut. Edgar Perez had 3 yesterday, so he's riding certainly in really good form. We say this all the time in these races, tab the tote here. This is a wide-open race. A lot of firsters here. Check out who's live and taking money, and conversely, who may not be taking money.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, and this one is 6 1/2 furlongs. Claimers 3 and up, $8,000, and I'm sure this is one of your 14 singles in the first leg. Star Wancho stretching out today to 6 1/2 furlongs.
Yeah, we're starting to see Efren Loza Jr. back in the entries a little bit. He's been a little quiet of late. This is a prolific barn. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Claimed this one for 8, 2 back from Bobby DeBona. Ran a big second in a starter optional claimer. Now back in at the level. We talked about this with Saffie Joseph Jr., I believe, yesterday on these class drops where you don't know what to make of it. Well, these are barns that like winning races, play a little poker. Rohan Crichton was another one we mentioned yesterday. I just think Star Rancho, Ronnie, at the end of the day, is just better than this group.
We have the same try up there. The number 7, the Ice Beast, second. The Star Wancho at that $8,000 level that you were alluding to drops. Stepped off the claim by Jerick Lopez after finishing that distant second, but that was behind that hard-knocking horse, September 10, in an open 12-5 claimer going 7. Edgar Zayas handles the rematch. I think both these horses are back where they belong.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this horse ran very, very well last time, and he improved. And I know Star Wancho beat him on the square, 2 back, as Ronnie alluded to, but he seemingly improved, or at least kept his form off the claim last time. And he's drawn outside Star Wancho, who, you know, you could argue maybe Star Wancho on this drop is it's a little dicey. You know, I would clearly think the Ice Beast is the main danger.
And the number 2 Star Aggravator stepping up, turning back, returned from the freshen. He used his speed to defeat those claimers, going 7. He's going to try and go for it, I would think. Again, it looks like the best chance for him to win it.
Agree. And Joe Orsino and Edgar Perez, who I mentioned 1-3 yesterday, they're over 30% with a big, big ROI together.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon, and this one is 5.5 furlongs on that fast main track. If you're just joining us, the main track is fast today. Maiden claiming filly, 2-year-olds, 12-5, scratched the 2, Real Sugar Girl, and number 8 Glass Star. I went with the number 9, tested positive, was dropping to the 12-5 level after following that second place finish in her $16,000 debut where she came from the parking lot. You know, she tried state bred competition last time out. It was sort of tilting windmills. Miguel Vasquez handles the needed class relief today.
Yes, the tilted windmills always makes me pause a little bit. I agree, and I think David Russo, knew last time this horse was stretching it a little bit in a maiden special weight. Well, now she's back with friends. She's perfectly drawn, as you alluded to. She kind of didn't break on debut, had a little bit of a trip. I think she'll be closer today. She's the horse to beat in here.
You went with a first-time starter on top, and that is final episode from the Ramon Mingueba on this one, Edgar Perez.
I mean, I tell you what, Ronnie just said it. Edgar Perez, we've mentioned him early and often here on this card, and he looks poised to have a big day. You know, quietly, Ramon Mingueba's not the, let's just be honest, the highest percentage barn on the backstretch. Quietly, he's had a very, very good Royal Palm meet. He's 2 for 13 in a limited sample with first-time starters. I don't think you have to be Flightline to, to make a dent against this group at first asking. Several works here for this daughter of Kozan. We'll see what we get today. I think she's in a good spot.
The 4 Milk Money is who I used in second, cutting back to 5.5. He responded to the drop down to this actual level with a distant second place finish going 6 for Jose Morelos, rides for Sal Matos. So I just thought off that performance, maybe you throw him on the ticket somewhere.
Yeah, Milk Money's been coming out of some good races where the winners have run off, so I think this will be a group a little more to her liking.
Race 4 this afternoon, a mile on the fast main track. These are claimers, 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. Desert Ruler is where we both went, and I believe you have a video you want to show?
Yeah, we'll take a look at this one. Desert Ruler and Federal Exchange in here, so we'll cue it up. Here's Desert Ruler, the 6. Here's Federal Exchange, the 7, okay? Desert Ruler, Federal Exchange beats Desert Ruler by a neck, but this is one of those spots where you need to ask yourself, who ran the better race? Look at Summer Ash, 8-1, pressing Desert Ruler. Basically, from the start, Desert Ruler is going to bottom out Summer Ash. I mean, he's just going to stop and retreat, while Federal Exchange was able to kind of sit back, let Desert Ruler have to do all the dirty work, and he's going to run him down. I've talked about this and shown these kind of replays a lot in the past, and you got to watch them and just say, well, you know what? Okay, Federal Exchange did beat Desert Ruler this day. There's no doubt who ran the better race. It was clearly Desert Ruler. And now, Ronnie, we go off the claim for Jorge Delgado, 31%. This horse has only one way to go, and that's up to me. I don't think he's going to get involved in a pace tussle today. I think Miguel Vasquez will be able to settle him a little bit more. There's pace to his inside. My best bet of the day on a horse that I think is going to move forward. Sign me up to 5-2. I'll believe it when I see it, though. I think they'll bet this horse hard today.
The horse I have some interest in you use on your ticket is the 2 Fulton Street, who's had a pair of really interesting performances since moving from the main track to the main track from the Tapeta. First of all, 2 starts back, he dumps the rider, and then followed that with an open-length victory over a pair of next-out winners in that 6,250 condition claimer. So I just thought this horse was interesting in here. So, I think maybe comes back Rory Miller, the trainer. So horse gets the acid test today. So I just thought the move to the main track might be the right thing for Fulton Street.
43-1 last time. maybe about 6-1 today. That's a tough one. He's going to have to suss it out as the inside speed on the lead with Charming Charlie and Desiree. I will say this, Ron. I think when the public sees that 43-1 last time, sometimes they get scared. Maybe you'll get a hint of value here. I honestly have no idea what to make of this horse because he was not supposed to win last time.
The number 5, Rushing to Win, is plunging to the 12th level, stepped up off the claim by, that was a $20,000 claim by Laura Cesares. Stalks and fades against 35 optional claimers, now in for 12.5. What do you make of it, Lionel Reyes in the saddle?
Well, I'll tell you what I like, okay? We're off the Tapeta. We're off 2 turns. We're back doing what this horse wants to do, and that's run 1 turn on the main track. I think that can wake him back up. The question is, can he maintain or get back to that form for Carlos David? That was with Carlos David.
Race number 5 this afternoon is about 1.70 miles on the Tapeta. Starter optional claimer. Fillies 3-year-olds and up, started for 12.5 or less. Optional tag is $16,000. And we both, well, you got a couple of scratches in here in the 1 and 10, but we both had some interest. I think this was one of your singles on the ticket. Pearlescent making her first start since dueling throughout and finishing second against those 20 starter optional claimers. It was back in December. It's Liz Doble's.
Yeah, Imaginary Stables, Liz Doble, Lionel Reyes. We mentioned it already earlier. They're about 20% with a positive ROI. The layoff from December is a worry. It's not a big sample at all. The barn's 0 for 2, so I don't pay any attention to that. This horse looks like she's ready to roll. And, Ron, she's not in for a tag, and I can't stress that enough. Off this long layoff where she could be in for the 16, they say, no, 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 we do not want to dangle this horse for a tag. John and Imaginary Stables, a very, very sharp outfit. This horse just looks better than this group to me.
The number 4 horse you have in third, having second, Journey to the Moon, proved she can compete with this caliber of competition when she followed her 12.5 score at the distance. That was 2 starts back. Comes back and runs an okay second against 25 optional claimers for Ronnie Spatz. Edgar Zayas returning on this daughter of Taurus.
Yeah, you know, she's got the recency edge on Pearlescent, who I think will be favored in here. And I think, you know, that's a big deal. If Pearlescent's not ready to fire her shot off the break, or maybe she needs a race, what have you, Journey to the Moon is going to be tough. But if Pearlescence is ready to roll, she's too much horse, I think, for Journey to the Moon.
You know, sorry, Brian, we talked about this horse before we came on the end. The number 9, Raspberry Ballet, was stepping up and stretching out around 2 turns on the Tapeta after back-to-back victories. Now, of course, that was against Cheaper, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt. Claudio Gonzalez, 22% with his Tapeta runners, and Jose Morales and him hook up, and they do an incredible job together. You're looking for a long shot, this barn, this is what they do. I think you put this one somewhere on the Trier Super.
You know me and Raspberry Ballet. I just can't get it right with her. She was 1 for 31 3 starts ago, and now she's 3 for 33. Hey, golf clap to Claudio Gonzalez because he finally got her over the hump. I mean, she's streaking. There's no doubt about it. And as Ronnie said, you're going to get a number on her if you believe.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will have my Rainbow Six ticket with a $500,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six pool.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Race 6 this afternoon, a mile in the 16th, about distance on the Tapeta. Handicap for 3-year-olds and up, $55,000. It's the Pembroke Park, which is about 90 miles, 90 minutes, 90 feet, I should say, down that road.
90 miles, or 90, 9 miles or 2 hours, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I meant to say 90 feet, but it came out a little differently. So this is a good race, and it's a great way to start the Rainbow Six. It's an interesting race. I'm going to show you my ticket. I had a little bit of success singling right in the opening leg, and I'm going to do it once again. I really like Lure Him In today, the number 5 horse in there. You know, I'm going to use him. We'll talk about the Pembroke Park in a moment. Then I got lots of coverage in race number 7. I like the 10, Il Miracolo, and I use the Legacy Isle, the one from Rohan Crichton. Race number 8, Miss You Ella, Grandma's Pudding, and Mrs. Z. That one's a price. Race number 9 today, Chasing Joy, and that's Fancy Fox, but no decaf. You can't leave that one off your ticket to 10. And in the Armed Forces, our co-feature event, or our feature event, I'm going with my long shot in here, Maximo. I think it's going to run well in there for Juan Alvarado and Edgar Zayas. And in the last race, the old 10 between the covers, Baker Block and Poetic Code. So 48.60 for me, and I really like the number 5 in here, Lure Him In.
I am with you 100%. I don't have as much conviction as you do, but I think he's the horse to beat in here. I know it wasn't a fast race. Well, let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
We'll talk over it. I know it wasn't a fast race, but here he is winning the Sunshines, well, off the turf. This was a good effort. Look at him here, the number 4 just stalking. This was his lone star over Artepida. Okay, 78 buyer, doesn't run overly fast, but, you know, we've talked about this. You don't necessarily know what to make of these figures. I thought when he leveled out in mid-stretch, Ronnie, and really kicked clear, because Sigloso, who was loose in here, holds second. So it's not like, you know, that they were dueling early and he sat a dream trip. No, Lure Him In, and looks like off the turn, you know, quite possibly he might get sucked up here. He kicks clear here. I thought this was a really strong effort. I think he's the horse to beat in here. I think the flow of the race is going to help him too. And we don't have any issues or any worries about him handling Artepida. We know he likes it. And honestly, Ron, the other thing too, I think he's a better horse now than he was then, because that race was off a little bit of a break as well.
Yeah, that was also the $100,000 Sunshine Turf. It was moved to the Topeka because of rain. So a lot of classy horses in the field. I'm going to show you stat on Bob Hatch Jr. Turf to all weather, all levels, 5 for 23, 22%. 35% in the money, 192. And as you mentioned, ran well on the turf up there, you know, in the West Coast at Del Mar, you know, in that $80,000 optional claimer going a mile. I think this horse, Miguel Vasquez, is strictly the one to beat in there. There's other ways you can go, but you know what? You said it was a tough sequence, so I figure I can get lots of coverage in those rough races, tough races, I should say,
yeah,
with luring him in, being my single in the opening leg.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and there are other ways to go in here. You've got Calibrator. I think Calibrator did well to draw outside Lamplighter Jack. I think that's beneficial to him. But to me, at least when you look at these two on paper, Ron, I don't know, doesn't something have to give a little bit with Lamplighter Jack and Calibrator? Because they're going to know each other very early on in this race.
Yeah, you know, Calibrated runs well fresh. He's going to try and flaunt that speed for his start. He set the pace in that overnight handicap at Safi. He's good with this layoff. So it's a bit of a tussle in here. We'll see with the Lamplighter Jack and him hook up in there. You went with Solo Volante in second, who's debuting on the Topeka today. So lots of guesswork going on here.
Guesswork for sure. I think the flow of the race will set him up. We know that, you know, maybe you don't want to be in front in the Topeka. Maybe he's going to get a pace tussle between Calibrator and Lamplighter Jack. Listen, Lamplighter Jack's the coolest horse, you know, one of the coolest horses we have. He absolutely loves the Topeka, but no disrespect to Parkland and Yamato, who he's been beaten up on. They're not in here. This is a much tougher group today.
Yeah, you know, that's sort of what I did. I went with the you know, the class in the field, looked like Laura. Man, at least to me, scratched the 4, by the way, Kahiko in that race.
I'm with you.
Race number 7 this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs, maiden special weight 2-year-olds. Scratched the 2 and 3. Still got a real nice field of 8 to kick off the late pick 5.
I'll zip through this pretty quickly for $32, 4 deep here, and then a couple doubles with number 7. Katie's a lady I have some interest in. My long shot is Cajun Spice in race 9. There you see the single Tigre. It's got to be an aggressive one. 4 deep in the finale as well. The top pick is number 8, Cynic. I've got a couple 20-to-1s, Ronnie, in this rainbow and this pick 5.
I went with the 10 in here, and that's El Miracolo, who's the son of Gun Runner, stretching out to 6.5 after shaking off that awkward start to finish second in its debut. Here's a big stat. I mean, a huge stat on Antonio Sano with his 2-year-olds making second-time starters. 21 for 156. So you say 13%. That's a good percentage with that many horses. You know, in the money 37% of the time. Still a solid return of investment, 194. I think this is when this barn does its best work. Sonny Leone handling the outside post today.
If the firsters can't run or if they're not ready to run today, Il Miracolo will be really, really tough.
And the number 1 horse in here, what did you go with, Chris? I didn't see the slip.
I went with Kingfish Stevens at the 7, Lisa Lewis for Peter Brandt. I mean, I don't think you can get 12-1 on this horse, not with the Peter Brandt connection. It's a candy ride. Lisa does a good job. We'll see what the tote says on this board.
Yeah, Legacy Isle is one of those first-time starters. $210,000 son of Shackleford debuting for Rohan. Sharp workouts. Emiciel Jaramillo in the saddle. Got to mention real quick, Prudencio is a half-brother to Superstar Mare. Latruska, sort of been just okay.
Yeah, the halves and fulls of Latruska for St. George Stable, not quite as good as a champion potential Hall of Famer.
Race 8 this afternoon, about mile 70 on the Torpedo. Allowance optional claim of fillies. 3-year-olds optional tag, $75,000. Scratch the 2 and 3. Number 1, Miss You Eller is where I went. Departs from the rail. Tries to make amends after getting beat like this much last time out by the favorite. As the favorite last time out was the 4-5 favorite. Who beat her? Empreselli. What did Empreselli do? Scratched out. It's going to run Sunday.
Yeah, my only knock is, you know, can we win a race? She's lost 5 straight, and she's been bet hard in the majority of them, but especially with Empreselli coming out, she's clearly now the horse to beat.
And who did you go with in here? The 7, Katie's the lady?
I took a shot. I think she's interesting for Kathleen O'Connell. Both Ronnie and I have a lot of respect for this barn. Edgar Perez is here. We draw well. We've got tactical speed, a little bit of a price, too.
The number 4 horse, real quickly, Grandma's Pudding, will get blinkers today. Chased the pace and faded to finish 4th behind aforementioned Miss Uella, trainer Ralph Nix, leading jock Miguel Vasquez. Trying to reverse that. I like with the shades added today. I think this horse will be closer to the pace. 15-1 in the morning line. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I thought this horse had a shot with our leading rider in the saddle.
Yeah, you're not getting it now with the 7-2 and the 15-1 out. Hey, if you like Mrs. Uella, you got to like this one a little bit because she wasn't that far behind her last time.
Yeah, so a pretty wide open race. Race number 9 this afternoon is about 5.5. No, it's 5.5 furlongs on the fast main track. Claimers, fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2. Scratch the outside horse, the number 11, the joke's on me. And you started off with the number 6 horse in here. That's the one you have, 20-1, Cajun Spice.
This is my long shot. We go second off the layoff, pretty long layoff as well. And look at the dirt race at Tampa Bay Downs, seemingly against better in an optional claimer. I thought this horse ran pretty well. There's no one in here to fear. I mean, no decaf is 1 for 12, 6 underneath finishes and plummeting in class. Let's take a shot in a race where I think, Ron, you're allowed to take a shot.
I went with the number 4 in here, Chasing Joy. 6 for 9 in the money, and the 2-time winner in her career debut thus far goes to the Shamir Mirage Bond after the claim, turns back to 5.5, made that move to get the lead before weakening to finish 4th, going 7. The apprentice, the 10-pound apprentice, Jaime Torres, will be in the saddle today. I like the fact that this horse always runs its race, so I'm going to put this one on top. It's actually second choice behind No Decaf, where you have a video.
I bet Chase Joy last time. I honestly thought she should have been about 6-5. She did not run. They did not bet her. I'm a little leery of her. But yeah, let's take a look at the video for No Decaf really quickly. I mean, this is the old "they're off, you lose," Ronnie. I mean, she's got no chance. Check out this start, and then we're going to show you the far turn. Whoa, that's just not happening. You can't win from with that trip. So there's your start, and she's a little rank and chasing early. Then we'll go up to the far turn in a second here. You can see her. All of a sudden, whoa, she's dueling on the lead now. And I mean, honestly, to give her credit to be 3rd in this spot, she's a $20,000 claimer. This is not a graded stakes kind of horse. For her to be 3rd and to run as well as she did, you do have to give her a lot of credit. But now we're dropping Ronnie to 62.50 off competitive races against a month better. And she's going to be a short number, and she can beat me.
She ran well. I put her on the ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. Louis Ramirez got apprentice Jason Hawaii is handling. Here's the thing. It's a pretty big drop down today, so I thought it was like a little shaky on the drop.
100% agree. And, oh, by the way, here's 8-5 on the tote board, too.
Our feature race today is race number 10, about 1.70 miles on the Tapeta, and great 2-year-old stretching out, $65,000 in the Armed Forces. Scratch the 2 Eyes of the King and the number 6 Wine Empire. I got my long shot in this race, and that is the number 7 Maximo, and I'll tell you why. Who was really impressive breaking his maiden on the Tapeta, won that race by 10.5 lengths, returns to the all-weather surface, failed to get on track. It was in the main track. It was in the 7 furlong affirmed. Just a tough group in there. Juan Alvarado, Edgar Zayas. So it's a surface switch. It's a stretch out. And this one, a proven commodity, I thought ran exceptionally well. I was looking to get a little bit of a price. Awesome Strong is the horse this horse faced in the affirmed. Yep. I think maybe this is the spot. I'm trying to get a little bit of a price in here. It was 8-1 in the morning line. We'll see how it runs. With the 2 scratches in there, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. You can draw a line through the affirmed, and as Ronnie said, go back to the Tapeta route, 2 back. It was a route. There's no doubt about it. The only question to me is there's other speed maybe in here, but yeah, Maximo. You scratch out the 2 and the 6, so you're unfortunately for you, you're not going to get the value you once were.
You have, I think, your best bet is that.
Not best bet, but we got a replay on the 3 Tigre, and I just thought getting to the 2 turns last time was a powerful effort. You're going to see this horse settle early, and he's going to run off late. Son of Awesome Slew, stretching out, and this was a big effort. And to me, you look at the first 2 starts, sprinting on the Tapeta, sprinting on the main track. They weren't that good, to be honest with you. He gets routing on the Tapeta, and he just looks like a different horse. He's going to power off in deep stretch. I thought it was super impressive. Here he comes now, leveling off in the lane. Obviously, he's facing better today. Obviously, he's facing winners today. I'm going to come right back to him.
That is number 3 Tigre. Now, do you make anything of the fact that the jockey Jason Awais is going to ride without the apprentice allowance today in the stake?
No, I mean it's fair, but he's basically level weights with everybody, so I don't. It's not like he's given 8 pounds or anything. I do think it's a fair assessment. He was in for 111 last time, but it's not gonna shake me. Put it that way.
The number 1, who we both have in second, Lights of Broadway, is a $250,000 son of City of Light. Proved he could win at the distance on the Tapeta when he drew clear to break his maiden. That was just 2 weeks ago for Mark Cassie. Sonny Leone, inside post. Here's another one we know can run at the 1.70 miles.
And I know they're different owners, but Mark had 2, and he's only going to run 1. So don't ever forget that angle at the track.
Our final race of the afternoon is also going to be on the Tapeta at about 1.70 miles. Maiden claim is 3 and up. $12,500. Great way to end the day with an 11-horse field. You went with the number 8 horse, and another one,
yeah.
Cynic, it looks like, for Diane Marici.
What's the matter with this horse at a big number? Second off, a long layoff, comes back. Last time, routing on the Tapeta. It's hard to do, to come back routing with a bad post to boot. Diane puts blinkers on. There is absolutely nobody in here to be scared of. This horse will be a number. Let's try to end the day with a big price.
The number 10 horse in here between the covers is dropping to the 12.5 level and receiving Lasix. First start since finishing 4th at the distance in its $25,000 career debut back in October. So I found the stat on Safi Joseph Jr. 50% drop in claiming price all surfaces. He's 33%, so he knows where to spot his horses. 18 for 54, 63% in the money, 182. That to me is a big number with those drop downs.
No, this is obviously a potent barn, potent connections. You see the stat there. This horse is 3-1 on debut. This horse probably going to be a pretty short number.
One other horse just you might want to throw in your ticket at a price in here, Poetic Code. Well, 7-2 has really turned finishing second or third into like an art form almost. 21 starts, 8 seconds, 6 thirds. Comes off its best performance in a while when beaten half length last time out. Antonio Sano, Hall of Famer Edgar Prado.
Yeah, he's going to win without me. And hey, listen, water finds its level. We've seen a couple offers of late. I like that art form line. I don't want anything to do with this horse whatsoever.
Well, good luck with it. Well, we're not done yet.
Nope.
We did the 11 races, but we still got a great lightning round. So let's get right to it and then turn it over to Pete Aiello.
We got the Sunshine Meet starts next Friday, and we've got the Royal Palm, and then we go into the Sunshine, and before too long, Championship Meet on the horizon. So here it is here, running through 12:24, and then it's Championship Meet time. So it's getting close, Rob.
I wonder if it's a clean slate where the jocks and the jocks and trainer standings will start anew.
I think so.
You
I
would think?
don't
With
know
a
that
new
for a
meet,
fact.
you would think,
but
though, yeah.
no.
So that'd be interesting. We'll see if Safi can do it again, or whoever is in the lead, and all that good stuff. Best bets? What's your best bet today?
Yeah, it's in race 4, number 3, Desert Ruler.
Yeah, mine is in the stake, lure him in 3-1, and that is in the overnight handicap, I should say. And you're a long shot. It's got to be one of those 20-1 shots,
Yeah,
right?
96, Cajun Spice in race 9, number 6, 20-1.
And mine is in the stakes, Maximo 8-1 on the morning line. So big day here, of course, with the 500,000, but almost as big up, but probably bigger up there at Pimlico.
Our friends up there have got 4 $100,000 stakes, and they've also got, here's Karatari in the Laurel Dash, and you know him well, a freakishly fast turf sprinter, and here he is winning the Janus back on 12:31, Ronnie, and when he is right, he is very, very good.
Yeah, he was even Monday that day. You're absolutely right. He's one of my favorite horses sprinting on the grass that we got to see around here. And and another big day today up there in old Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so we gave props yesterday to White Abario, who won our Florida Derby, and we'll give it today to Simplification, who won our Fountain of Youth. They're all up there. Skippy Longstocking as well. So here's Simplification, who was 4th in the Kentucky Derby. Both of them are kind of trying to get back on the beam a little bit, whereas Skippy Longstocking comes in off a powerful graded stakes score. None of them are the favorites. None of them should be the favorites. But if they find their form, all 3 of them could make a dent in this race.
Well, we are done now. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. He's going to give you all the scratches, jockey changes you need. And we'll be here throughout the afternoon trying to give you some useful updates. And that's it, right?
That's a wrap. Upstairs to Pete.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.